smaller than me, Scott.
5'11", man.
We're around the same height.
I got massive calves and thighs though, like tree trunks. You know
I was gonna say tree trunks.
Yeah, it's funny because like out of like all the people I know, the only people I know with larger calves and thighs than me are my 2 younger brothers, who are just absolutely ginormous.
Absolute units.
They're
I have good muscular legs. I have Danny DeVito body. I have like okay legs, but then I'm pudgy in the middle, and then I got little dinosaur arms. Like it's
you don't
not
want to
all
be
in the
like
right
Danny
place.
DeVito's not a little pudgy. Like Danny DeVito's the penguin.
No, but yes. But it's what he always said his body type was, and I'm like, you know what? I respect that because that's me in the future. Anyway, hey.
Statistically, it's healthier for you to be pear-shaped than apple-shaped. Being
Oh.
pear-shaped with the majority of your weight lower down, not up here, has a lower risk of diabetes, CVD, all sorts of things than being apple-shaped.
What if you're just evenly distributed?
A log.
Log. Tree trunk.
trunks.
Bad. So I mean, like on the torso. So like that's
Yeah.
that's your pear shape upside down, right? And that's the not bad fat. Whereas the bad fat is like where you're like a chunky apple.
That makes sense. You know what? That makes sense because that's what I am, so I agree with it. So, you guys are walking out of the alley, trying to hold away from the cameras. Prov, you wanted to check whether this compad system actually connected to the camera network, and it does. In that there's essentially an application on it that does connect to the system's camera network, but it's not great. It's kind of slow. It's kind of dodgy. I assume you wanted to check whether that camera was in operation. It was. You can actually give me either a notice or a program check. Either one would be intelligence.
Not very good.
Honestly, this kind of technology it's simple enough that you totally understand it, but the greater implications of trying to do more with it, you wouldn't be able to
Yep, that's fine. I can shove that away in my bag, power it down, shove that away in my bag, and get annoying medic face to delete that data in a bit when we get back to the ship.
You mean Henrique?
Yeah, annoying medic face.
Cool. And you're heading back to the ship?
I would assume so. I mean, I follow Davis's lead. But...
Exactly, it's Captain's
Yeah,
orders.
I was leading him, but with again trying to like for that first camera, and then any other cameras that we come across. I mean, I can't find every camera.
Yeah, so
yeah, we're trying to.
We just try to be smart.
Let's see if there's this. You know what? This would be skullduggery.
Yeah, I know. Well, honestly, can we just do it like this? Can he just make a stealth to avoid cameras with me giving him a bonus?
Yeah,
And
I think that's fine. I was literally trying to work out what that would work. That makes entirely fine. Stealth, I'll say with this is a +2 because you've already found cameras. It's not like you're trying to find them blindly. You're trying to find cameras. Also, you have time. You don't need to rush. Perfect. And to be honest, this is the kind of thing that is within both of your skill sets. You know, finding cameras in a station like this and avoiding them. And a station like this is populated enough that there are enough like small walkways between buildings and things where there probably wasn't originally in the original designs, that you can go past a lot of camera views, only be seen by the back or just as a quick blur in a corner, and you can make it back to your ship easy enough. But at this point you see that Rain has already gone inside because there is a missing because it's the one where you have to put the air suits on outside and go in, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, you assume Rain's going inside rather than someone's stole it, because it is locked, your little caddy here. You can head back to the ship.
Yeah, gown up and roll in.
Mm-hmm. When you get back on the ship, what's the game plan?
When they come back in, Rain would come up to them immediately with sort of a slightly worried smile on her face. Boss, welcome back. How did? I have a look on your face.
Henry.
We need to get out of here.
Prov like stomps off straight away.
Yeah, when you like head down below deck, he's like, "Oh, do you need medical attention? That's not your blood." Okay.
Please tell me that somebody was able to get information off of the Excalibur before they died.
No, we were kind of working on it when the whole thing went down. I didn't get any. I mean, I don't know, maybe Prav did.
Did you get hands on the sword?
No.
The sword he was carrying.
No. Sorry, I was focusing on the other guy.
That could be the key that we need. And
that would be cool if the message
focusing on
was
her.
sent to swords.
I say
Our leaders were called swords. Oh.
that could be the key that we need. Now you're talking Eberron, man. Now that could be the key that you need, that we need to infiltrate or get access to other areas. Is there any chance that you can get back out there and get that sword?
Mr. Davis, give me a no intelligence. It's funny because I say Mr. Davis because I often say Mr. First Name, but that's Scott's actual name. Mr. Davis was my father.
As a critical success.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So your
baby.
immediate thought process is, okay, this is a Novus-based, but a Novus-owned mining station, but it has its own things going on. But the core protocols would be the same. There was a fight there. Everything is going to be collected up and put into lockup. You just had to sneak through the whole station to get back here. You spent at least half an hour. That's probably started or finished process now. If you went back to the crime scene. If you're lucky, they would still be doing it, and you could sneak something away. If not, you would have to go to their lockup station, which you were fairly sure you'd be able to find your way if you could get to their actual security hub. But
Fuck,
also,
we should have taken their armor.
what I was thinking, well, those bodies are still there.
Stormtrooper. That's true.
Something I was going to give you earlier is that this system's securities networks probably aren't connected to the internet or to the other systems because of the alliance, the criminal alliance. They're probably, they would probably report crimes, but only if they're crimes they can't deal with themselves or to keep up appearances. Chances are you wronged them. They're going to keep it quiet and deal with it themselves, if they ever watched that footage, if they saw that footage, if anything like that went on. But of course, they didn't see Rain. Yeah, that sword and the rest of their equipment would be in the security, would be going into security lockup. Also, just in a plan you had before that you might have forgotten because it's been a long time and because you got crit success, you were considering trying to find out where the Excalibur members were sleeping, seeing if you could get anything from where they stayed, and if you went on their bodies, if they had data pads, if they had even a key card, you could easily extrapolate that data.
All that stuff would definitely be useful for us if we were able to get our hands on that. So, one thing is, so it's funny because in my head canon, I was like, no, it's a crime scene. They have to take time to process it, to look things over. It's the fucking future. They probably send a drone in. It does a scan of it. Then they just clean it up immediately. So it's within use in less than an hour, and then go back to a hollow chamber. And then
it's one of those things where on a more civilized world, you might have detectives checking out crime scenes, but this is a criminal run mining station as well.
Yeah, so let's just sweep it up and let's keep traffic moving. So I think about this and I'm like, do you think there's any chance that you can get there and get that sword? I hold the question the same still.
I mean, I don't know how quick they'll be to the guy. You mean the sword's still there? The guy died, left it? Oh yeah, he got the minigun, took him out, didn't he? And the other two died as well. They didn't pick it up or anything.
Everyone's dead, including the security officers that joined us in the combat.
Everyone is dead.
There's a long story, and I would love to go into details now.
Right, no, that's fine. I mean, if I don't really know how things work around here. If I got back quickly, I might be able to get in and out quickly, but if
it's likely not going to be on the ground anymore. It's either in transit or already inside the material evidence holding facility by now. This isn't a task that you're going to be able to do alone. And you can see because you know me well enough, you can see I'm biting my tongue and I'm regretting saying this. You're likely going to have to bring Prav with you as well.
Yeah, I mean, like always, if I can get a view on this thing, if it's not watched closely, I can get in and out as long as I can get in within about 100 meters of it. That wouldn't be a problem.
As I said, there's 2 gate guards, which means there's 2 bits of armor that aren't being used.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I can probably do it. Long as I can get close enough. And I really, I don't want to be seen using my blink. Really don't want to be seen. But as long as I'm not going to get seen, should be able to do it. Probably.
He's a halfway decent technician. Maybe he can pull the wires and the cameras when you guys are there, and we can worry about your retreat afterwards. They got eyes on me already. They didn't see him or you. I can't go back in there, otherwise I'd be a part of this too. I need to be here and keep the engines ready for when it's time to blast out. Sure. Not happy with the damage we've done in this station, but we need to take down Excalibur, and it's not like they were looking to do that here.
Sure, you got a place we need to go? If you can work that out, I'll go grab Prav.
I looked at like a mappish thing before because that's how I found out in the conversation. The guy actually gave me schematics of everything that I had the conversation with last session. So I imagine kind of like think
you can hologram it up especially because this ship has like the actual big holograms and things and show her exactly what she needs to do.
I would probably first comms Prav in here now, and then like he'd probably show up in the middle of the conversation, have to like trying to understand partway through as I'm describing where I believe the holding facility is and all that stuff based off of the schematics that I have. And then once it's all like done and like mapped out or whatever, I just kind of and throw like a copy of it to each of them. And then I'll actually I'll point to my ear at Prav and say, I'll be listening too.
Now, the thing is, because you've got a crit success on that, you not only have the security hub itself, which is more or less in the center of the station, you also have a not necessarily a back entrance. It's an entrance designed for things like laundry and morgue workers. Literally a back entrance. I don't know why I said it isn't one, but it is a back entrance that's going to be less guarded than the front one, which wouldn't be on the standard records.
And look, I was thoroughly entertained by that too. I'm sorry.
Ollie's gonna Ollie. What can I say?
You can tell me what Henrik says.
Well, you didn't really have much time with him. You wanted him to check the security footage stuff?
Yeah, and not caring how unreasonable the request is, Prov doesn't entirely know how this works. He's like, I need you to find the data on this camera and delete it.
He goes over and says, like, well, I'd love to. I really would. But unless I can get inside their system and plant a logic bomb, that's going to be a lot harder to do. But luckily, you can see because of this, and that's when, like, Prov gets, like, pinged, like, see me now, and ignores it. Like,
yes.
This says how... the system says if anyone's looking, so they can check if anything's been seen. Your camera hasn't been looked at for days. So you've got time. If I give you a data device, and you're going in, this will be later. If I give you a data device and you're going in, if you plug this in, it could probably wipe, well, it will, I don't know why I would second guess myself. It can wipe that data, nothing. And these kind of people, they won't care that there's missing data. There's missing data every day around here.
And where would I have to put this logic bomb? Ooh. Could I just connect it to anything?
There's probably got a alright. And this is when he kind of like looks at the hologram that Davis brought up, and you've got a map of the security hub in the basement level, where you would go to find the lockup, the security lockup. This stuff would be before it's put into like hard storage. Nearby it is a sort of data mainframe, which would be the place to put it in. He would go on to explain, if you know how a thing or two about computers, you could put it in just anything connected to the network, but this will be more foolproof.
I don't really know shit, and if we're heading to the lockup anyway,
just stick it in the mainframe. I mean, it's just like it's biological instinct. Just stick the slot in a hole. It'll be
all right, Henry. I'm gonna go get changed. Looking at blood splatter all down.
And you change into an identical jumpsuit that just doesn't have blood on it.
He'd probably change into like one of the, because he doesn't have a change of clothes.
So but it would be changing the clothes on this suit in this ship.
He'd probably change into one of the undersuits.
Yeah.
That came with the ship.
Fair.
Oh, that's cute. That means you're actually wearing the uniform.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're the first one to actually wear the uniform of the ship of the PCs.
Fine.
So-
I told Henrik to wash it.
So he
Okay.
gives you that USB of the logic bomb. You have a place of where to go, and I imagine the two of you are going to head out.
Yeah.
Would
She'd be like to Prof. So you got I heard there are 2 guard suits we can go get. Get him
Right.
to place easy.
Yeah, I remember the way. He's gonna unhook the felling axe from the back of his belt. Probably best not to bring this. I don't think it's the sort of thing the guards carry around here.
Did they blah blah?
Wow.
Blah 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 blah.
You okay there?
Did you see either of them? Do they have rifles on them?
We did have rifles. They weren't the kind of rifles you'd.
Yeah, I mean, Rain wouldn't have seen them, so that's why she's asking.
No, I know, but
They,
this is me
they both
saying.
had combat rifles, but they looked a bit different from yours.
Best to play it safe if we're going in silent. Then just take the pistol. Hope I don't regret that. Also, Ollie, I assume this counts as a different scene for the purpose of my effort coming back. Yeah, good.
Absolutely.
Right.
So
Right then, ready to go.
Ready as I'll ever be.
That was
I-
also via the intercom.
yeah.
The boss man.
Yep, and because we are, of course, have our ship's comms together. Just as a reminder, both what's his face, Prov and I do have the comms for their station. So I'll of course leave that in, unless the mechanic here can, without concern of breaking it, can tap it to our ship so we can like get it a more open channel listen. I assume I'll just leave it in my ear. So there's no chance of like fucking it up.
Leaving in your ear is probably safer for this. If you had more
Sure,
time,
I'm
then you want to go now.
No, that's fine.
Cool. Then you can suit up, take a little walk, suit off, and start going back through the station. Question to Prov: are you still concerned about cameras?
Not on this route. We'll take the faster route.
Then that's fine. Then you don't have to do any kind of check to get back to the alleyway where you killed those 2 guards in horrible bloody murder. They might have had lives and families, you don't know. But you don't have to do any sort of check. You can easily lead Rain through the station in there. At this point, the station is starting to wake up. These kind of stations don't strictly adhere to station time, but at least these areas do. If you were further towards the mining spikes, they would be constant activity all the time. But because you're on the other side of the station, it did get a bit more quiet at nighttime. But now people are starting to wake up as you're passing. You'd pass, these kind of stations are fully functioning societies to a level, whether you pass like little breakfast stalls and things, doing like eggs and bowls and stuff like that. You could even stop by for breakfast.
Always noodles.
It was funny because you never stayed at Waste long enough, but there was going to be like rice shops.
Nice.
But yeah, the station is waking up, just so you know. You can easily get to the place where Rain. There are 2 security guards who have had their necks brutally cut open, and one of them has a large bullet hole in the back, which means there's a large bullet hole in the back of the armor as well.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, the neck wounds are enough that both of you are wearing armored undersuits, and they are essentially what would go under these kind of armors. So that you don't have to worry about. Whoever's wearing the one with the hole in the back, it is noticeable. You could put something over it, but it's still, you're going to have a -1 to your little stealthy checks going around.
Well,
Right
who
then.
gets the suit with the hole in the back?
Well, I guess it's my fault for not killing him in one hit in the first place, so I'll do it, Rain.
Right.
Probably best to strip off their armored undersuits as well, and use that to wipe any blood off the actual armor panels.
Yeah, good thought.
It's white armor, so the blood that has started to seep, and especially because They've now been laying there for now around an hour. There is like a layer of blood and grime, but you can clean it enough. Put these on. These are suits of security armor. They have AC 14. They overrule your lower armor. So your ACs are now 14. The guns they had on them are a form of combat rifle that actually only does a D10 of damage instead of a D12. But they would look more the part if you were to carry them around. But you could still also maybe carry
Rain
them
would
on your
definitely
back.
pick one up more comfortable with that.
Put one on my back, I guess. But I'll give the excess ammo to Rain.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about that really. And you can start heading towards the security hub.
Yeah. On the way there, I am going to ask one. So, Davis got the back way, and you think it's going to be strange for a couple of guards to go in the back way if that's for like laundry and stuff? Should we just go in the front and flag it, or should we? I don't know. Seems a bit fishy to me to go in the back.
I should imagine it would be strange for us to go around the back, but going around the front.
Maybe with the bullet hole in the back, if there's laundry and stuff in there, maybe we can say we're like taking a shortcut to the where to get it fixed or something. I don't know. Just not it.
Sure. You can black it, right?
Another thing about this scene is that you tore the intercoms out of this helmet, so you have to like kind of loudly speak so that you can hear each other through the helmets, which just makes it even funnier.
We're being careful about where we're.
No, I know. It's just the idea of the scene is very funny.
Yeah. So hole in the back, the comms got damaged as well. So yeah, if we go in the back, say it's because the suits got damaged.
I can actually turn the outer comm back on. I've got it in my ear. So
So my comm's damaged, your suit's damaged. We got in a bit of a scuffle with some locals. Say.
why don't we swap helmets and you can have the one with a working outer comm?
Yeah, makes sense.
I'm the one who got jumped and damaged, and like I'd
Switch
pull us
helmets.
into like an alley before we swap helmets.
This
Yeah.
is fine. It's just funny. And you head towards the security hub. While you're walking through, the locals don't care. You know, one, you're careful about not walking in incredibly populated areas anyway.
You should be ashamed.
Don't shame me. I'm a beautiful tree.
Populated was the word you were looking for.
Yeah, you don't go in any populated areas. You're careful about that. You're very careful. You're very smart individuals. We're all smart here. And you, and you head towards the security hub. You can notice the security hub because a lot of these buildings, you got to imagine that this kind of station, a level of it is prefabbed, and it's got around 2.5 stories high all of the time. Sometimes it goes higher, but most of the time what you can see, there's like a roof. Some buildings go up to that roof, some are going to. You can see construction going in place. The security hub easily goes up to that and then beyond it, because there are some, not glass, but translucent enough panels where you can see, sometimes you can see the gas giant behind, but you can see that it does tower above and below a bit. And similar to the secret area you went in before, you actually have to go into a tunnel to go into this back entrance. And luckily for you, the tunnel is not near it. It's one of those buildings, the security building has a bit of a pavilion in front of it, and around it, it's a cylindrical building, which is a bit of a public space. And for your sneaking, you don't want to be involved in that. So this tunnel is actually a little bit of ways away. It doesn't really go in an alley. It's just sort of in a side area. More or less a bit of like a cargo space specifically for this. You can enter and you can start walking in on through the tunnels, where the facility gets a little bit cleaner for this actual security force area. It's not completely sparse. There's occasionally tables where people have left things. There's a little bit of graffiti even. When you get actually, because you do a bit of walking under pavilion, when you get to the space under the station itself, there is a door that is closed, that has a panels on either side. Clearly, they're the sort of thing where you would beep your ID against it. You don't have IDs. You would have IDs of these dead people if you were to use them.
Well, guess we ain't got any option. Let's use these ones. Let's use
Good luck.
Get in there. Yeah, guess we're
Drop
using those
shouts from the
IDs. Ollie, the way Ollie says that, we are going to get in such shit for this.
It's
I mean,
It's gonna happen.
can Rain use the ID of her, and then us just walk through on just his ID?
So it's only one rather than
So
two.
boop, door opens.
yes.
If it
No,
works,
I
and we
think that's
just walk
entirely
through.
reasonable. Yeah.
Because that's like 50% less flagging up that there's a potentially dead/missing person walking in.
Exactly. But it's not been that long. It's just, it's creating a story, right? You beep, you open a door, you step through, and when you get through, you're now into the actual basement level of the security hub. It is what you'd imagine a basement of this kind of place to be. There are small areas of storage. There are side rooms, which are either, closets, or the one is clearly labeled for the building's plumbing, and you can actually see water pipes that run through because this is the basement. It's not designed to be pretty. If the water pipe needs to go through, they sure as hell aren't going to route it around and waste water pressure. It's going fucking through. Stuff like that. Places for their air. You two are going to... Nope, you have a map. I was going to say you need to do me a notice check, but you don't need to. What you do need to do, because there are other people in here, but not many, just the occasional person around, I do want you both to give me a stealth charisma check. Prov, you have a -1.
This is
Stealth charisma.
not going to go
You're pretending
well.
to be someone.
Rip.
I'll take that roll. I'll take
That's
that
actually
roll.
really good.
I'm ready to
Really,
take
really
my
good.
bad roll.
Playing about a 10.
Oh,
So you're
that's-
walking around. Like I said, there are people down here. It's a cylindrical building, so you figure that this is more or less a ring. With maybe some side paths and things, and you're just trying to find your way around, maybe following the map occasionally that you were followed on your data pads. So while you're walking around, Rain, you've seen a lot of these security personnel, and you just figure, act like you belong. And one of the ways to act like you belong, in a lot of places, is to not make eye contact with people. There's actually a concept in psychology called gaze, where you're looking, you can completely trick people into thinking you belong in places. Like if you just march forward, looking in where you're trying to go, people won't bother you. Just subconsciously, they don't give a shit. They don't want to get in the way of your mojo. And that is exactly what Rain is doing, just continuing to march. Maybe people were like, "Oh, how is it?" No, just complete marching past. Now, actually, down here, you don't see a lot of other security officers in full uniform. It's mostly either people in sort of a jumpsuit version of that uniform who are either engineers or cleaners, or some people who are wearing a actual uniform version of the uniform without the security armor, where they are, getting paperwork. It looks like there's some fire rooms down here. There's actually an elevator to the higher floors that's being repaired.
Whoa. Paperwork?
Sometimes. But digital records, more accurately. It's one of those things where children are like, why is it called paperwork, Mama? I was like, nobody knows. Like the phone symbol. You've ever, you know how kids nowadays, they do that when they're pretending to be on the phone?
Mm-hmm.
Kids these days. Anyway. Yeah, you're passing an elevator that would go higher in the station. It's actually damaged, and the repair teams are fixing it down here because it causes less disruption. And actually, causes less disruption. Causes a hell of a lot of disruption around here. The whole area is more or less blocked, and Rain's just out of the way. And they're like, oh, and they kind of move things. When you start going past, they notice and hey, wait a minute. Your suit's damaged. You smell like blood. Have you been in a fight? And they actually will grab one of these maintenance people will actually grab Prov. There's 3 of them here. One of them is still fixing the thing. Welder, he's going at it. There's also another one of those officers who's sort of down the hall.
So upon hearing that, Rain turns back. He's like, "Yeah, got in a bit of a scuffle. So bit drunk, got the jump on him, damaged some of his suit a bit. We're taking it in to get fixed up, you know? Figured it would be better to come around this way than the front. You know how the higher-ups are.
Give me a talk charisma.
Rob nods and taps the side of its helmet. Yeah, like it's damaged.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, boy.
It's the sort of thing where, whether or not they buy the story, it's one of those things they like. He looks at the bullet hole again, and, like scratches at his beard. This guy, I was like, that's clearly a bullet hole. You feel like he's like,
drunk with a gun? Come on, it's a criminal.
Exactly, but he's just like, yeah, I guess it probably is better to go in through here than not. I wouldn't linger around here too much, though. I mean, I don't think other people would really. I don't think you're meant to do this. But that's fine.
We're getting in, getting out. No skin off your back, mate.
And they'll go back. Yeah, they'll go back to their maintenance. At this point, you can go to the like up further around the ring. There is the lockup, the security lockup. Now, interestingly enough, it is a glass door. You can see through into the other room where you can see metal shelves. I can't words today. Metal shelves with sort of plastic containers in where you can see all sorts of other things. I'm Scotting hardcore.
That's okay. We love you.
Damn right.
Scott's like, we'll love and support you. Oh God, he's
even
so
as I have multiple blurtations. With all sorts of like security stuff in there, you imagine there's probably like a bag in there that is most likely some sort of illicit drug substance. You don't see the sword immediately, but it's one of the things with the door, and then it goes around, so there's more of that room that you could look at. You can already see inside. Issue for you is that on the other side appears to be a bit of a staff room where the door is open, and there's currently some of those officers are actually having coffee and they're having a conversation. Literally the conversation that did you hear only in passing because you're not paying a lot of conversations. Like, there was a security debacle over by the 14th dock over there earlier. There was a fight. There was a bloodbath. A lot of blood. Like, they're just sort of gossiping, kind of. What's going on?
Oh, it's like water cooler talk.
It is water cooler talk.
About dead people. It just makes me happy.
It happens. So Rain is now like looking through this glass door, right?
Yeah, clearly like trying to think of how to go about this.
Yeah.
Prob's gonna tap Rain on the shoulder, like lift the helmet up slightly and say, "Good luck." Pop it back down and walk off towards the data.
Yeah. Okay. So, alright. So if I've got this in my head, is the staff room like? Is
direct opposite of the hallway.
Direct. Sorry, my brain is not computing this.
So doorway to the lockup.
Yeah.
Glass, see through. Direct opposite side of the hallway. Staff room, open door. Water cooler talk.
So this is so the staff room is the opposite side of the hall from where I am. It's behind me.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can look through the glass door, get a look from at either side of the room in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Presumably, and the walls, other than the glass door, it's solid, so you couldn't see through to the sides. Yeah. Okay. So
you figure there are vents and things and panels, which if you cared, you could remove and maybe see another way in. But
okay. But so what I will do, I'll just go down the hall a little bit so that I'm out of view of the staff room. Look around, make sure no one is watching, and yeah.
That's going to be a sneak wisdom, because ultimately this isn't a very large space.
Yeah, I know.
This is going to be for the whole thing, for like the movement, the noise, all that sort of thing. So that's pretty good.
Okay, that's reasonable.
I'll only roll when you jump.
Yeah, because as you guessed, I am teleporting into like an area of the room that wouldn't be in.
Yeah, because now you've seen it. You can like see around the corner and go like instead of appearing on the other side of the door. Great. You vanish. You appear inside the security lockup.
Now I hope they get bad notice rolls.
You hear a sort of like a, what was that? like at the water cooler, but no one like comes and starts yelling or like looking. You don't see them even leave the room as you sort of peek. Clearly, like a bit of a. They notice something, and that might add up, but
Yeah.
that's Prov's problem now, or you as you try to leave the room. But now you're inside the security lockup.
That's not what I like to hear.
Inside
That's
here,
Rob's problem now.
the clearly newest labeled and newest box has the sword, the 2 pistols those Excalibur people were using, their jumpsuits. You know, you could rifle through their pockets and find the things that you want in there. And I assume what you want is their data pads.
Data pads, keys or key cards, whatever. It could
They
be.
do have a key card to clearly to a hotel. I mean, you don't know the name of it, but like it's a hotel key card. You're smart enough to figure that out.
Yeah. The sword is quite big, isn't it?
It is a medium. Yeah, it's a sword. It's like a long sword kind of thing, not like a full like master sword.
You don't mean a longsword.
I mean a D&D long sword. Not a
Right.
real life long sword, which is always a 2-handed thing. This is the kind of thing you could 2-hand, could 1-hand.
So I'm just debating about how to get this thing
Bastard
out of here inconspicuously, because it's not going to be easy to get this out of here inconspicuously, is it?
You can always fit it up your ass.
Yeah, bastard sword is the best description of it. And now that you're looking at it clearly, I mean, you looked at it when it was on the table, but it was kind of hard to tell because it was obnoxious lighting. This actually has very nice neutral lighting that is quite pleasant. Flickers occasionally, but it's not the cleanest sword in the world. Not it's just not the clean. It's not clean metal. Not taken care of as much as it is. But there is a small engraving or along the very like sort of where the crossguard goes down. It doesn't look like it would maybe say anything. It's in a language you don't necessarily recognize, but it's probably just more of a sort of. This actually shows it as being an Excalibur sword for like an officer inside of just a sword. And swords do exist. You know,
So-
you've seen collections.
I am going to. I know that. So that's the only distinguishing mark on the sword. This engraving. I am going to I'm going to get my data pad out, take a picture of that, and send it to Davis just in case something happens. With a little amendment message like, I'm going to try and get it out of here, but this might be difficult. And it's rain. This is probably all in lowercase. There's no punctuation. It's really, and there's no subject in the mail either. It's just really badly. That's sort of annoying mail.
He sees it and he's like, "That is not well optimized."
Like,
Yeah.
he's like, how do you even survive in this century?
This
At
millennia.
least she figured out how to take a picture.
Yeah.
It's not like a selfie
She's
of the
making
helmet
progress.
by accident.
Then, are there like bags around in this room for evidence or anything?
Little evidence baggies, yeah.
Anything big enough to fit a sword?
Not really. There's things that would easily encompass, you know, a small object like a gun. The sword was most likely just handled with gloves or something. Now, but there are these boxes. I mean, all of this is in like a crate, right? A plastic crate. They have lids. The lids aren't currently on them. The sword can't really fit in it though, comfortably. Like it's kind of like leaning out, so it would still be noticeable even if you took it out with the box.
Okay.
Do you want an aside? What you think?
Yeah. Can you go to Prov while I figure this out?
So Prov, it takes you not much time at all to find the databank room. It's very similar, and it seems like it's actually essentially the core. Like if you're going around a ring, the less the middle of this is mostly this databank room with like a whole bunch of cooling. I mean, this station is a little warm, but when you like start going into there or start going close, you can just feel the cold air venting from like under the doors and things. And unlike the other one, it's not like a properly sealed door. They don't have the highest security level here, but they do have another key card door. Would you try your key card on it? Red light.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, it's also glass, so you can actually see inside like the data towers and stuff. And of course, as it is sci-fi, a core central computer.
Obviously.
Which is just flicking between like cameras and datas and things.
I will check over my shoulder, and the swipe thing's its own little.
Yeah, its own little like box.
I will pop the front off and do the old hot wire.
Fix.
Fucking hope this works.
This is more an int than a dex.
Rip.
Yeah.
Rip me. Violent rippage. Violent.
Yeah,
rippage.
you just kind of do that. Can you give me another stealth check? Still with a -1.
Still with a -1.
You
Okay,
got a
so
hole
this
in the
one-
back of your armor.
This one's a dex.
That can be a dex, yeah. I think that's entirely reasonable. Now that you're starting to Metal Gear, so it's one of those things. You pop open the front of this panel, easy enough. That's the one of the things you don't even really need like a screwdriver for. You're maybe just like.
I have
smack
got
it open,
multi-tool,
start.
but
Yeah, but also you're a freaking primal man, and start sort of tapping away at it, trying to get it to work. It doesn't open. At some point, so you see things happening, but not enough. When a couple of people go to move past, you duck behind, a little filing cabinet, away from things.
Did it open at all?
Nah. You got some leeway though. You can give me another check.
Yeah, I guess I'll have another check. He says, just briefly looking through.
This can be. This one has a +1 because we've already started breaking it.
Okay. It's one higher.
It's one of those things. It is one higher because I give you a +1. Sorry. You know what's good about this? There are 2 doors. The front glass door opens completely, slightly annoyingly, you kind of assume this might happen. It kind of goes, mainframe door open, and that's when you hear people like the maintenance team be like, "Hey, is someone going in a mainframe?"
So the door's open.
Yeah, doors open, but that little chime comes out from the device, a little garbled as well because you've been beating up the box.
Yeah.
And you can hear them starting to walk over.
I'm just gonna double time it in.
Mm-hmm.
Plug that boy in, not in direct sight.
Yeah,
So they
like
don't
you're gonna
just walk
duck
over
around
and
a
go,
corner and
Yeah.
plug it in. It would be one of those things where there's like a light on the side that goes like do 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 ding.
Should I unplug it or leave it? Fuck, you didn't say. I'll leave it for good measure. It's not my USB stick, fucking.
Not yours.
And then I will take cover in a shadow closer to the door, wait for the people to walk in, then slip out.
That is a sneak dex. That is very much a dexterous sneaking.
That is indeed a dexterous snicking. I still rolled a 1 though. I just can't stop rolling 1s. Last
Now,
3,
luckily for you, they rolled a
4,
6
no.
to try and see you. So literally, like the maintenance team come in and like, I mean, someone's in here. The door's open. It was like maybe the device is broken. I mean, it's kind of sparking a little bit. I'm like, yeah, I guess we got to fix that as well. Looks like we're on overtime tonight. And while they're having that conversation, you're like, and sneak out, and then like eventually it comes into a normal walk as you go back to where Rain was. Rain.
Okay, so question, Ole. In terms of how far we have travelled through this place so far, from like that front door that I had to keycard, how far would you say we've been? As sort of like
That's a good question. I mean, how far is your teleport? Like 500 meters or something?
I've got 2 uses of it, so I can get 200 meters.
200 meters. It's definitely less than 100 meters because it's quite a densely packed small area. You could probably get halfway down that like the tunnel to this place.
So okay, that's
with one
pretty
teleport.
good. Okay. I want to sort of try and leave some sort of note for Prov, like because I'm not going to leave the holding thing for the stuff. Is there something I can quickly like scrawl a note on saying meet back at the ship or something?
There is a whiteboard sort of by the door. that
I
would have
will-
like, which it literally has like, you know, people bringing things in and out. So you could put a message on that.
Yeah, I will. Let's see. Let's think of a good meet back with the boss, because he's heard me refer to Davis as boss enough times.
Yep.
So meet back with the boss, and then I will basically just grab the sword. And I know this is risky, but I'm just going to teleport as far as I can back down into the tunnel we came through.
Awesome.
And hope that no one's there when I come out.
I imagine it says the bird flies. So what's the actual like hard?
Well, exactly. It's as the bird flies, which is why you can get so far.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
That's the thing, because
why it's possible.
because it's as the bird flies, this is a really densely packed. Because it's a space station, it has to be densely packed. So you can get just all the way down now. It's just that corridor's pretty long. It's an underground passage.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you still teleport into the middle of it, where you like look back and blind. Luckily, that door back there doesn't have windows, and it has little frosted windows. So if someone saw something, might just been a trick of the light. You think no one saw you, and you probably just start.
Yeah. Then I basically I'm gonna book out the tunnel, either find the original alley because we left our other suits there, didn't we? So find the other alley, switch back into regular suit, and then head back to the ship.
You had your regular suit underneath.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, then I would dump the.
As you walk through an alley, you can drop all the bits off.
Yeah, I dump the guard suit somewhere and then head back to the ship.
Prov, you would see that message when you walk back around.
Prov will sigh and leave. Start walking out.
Yeah, no one else gives you any more trouble. You already done your stealths to belong. But maintenance teams definitely do give you a second look. I mean, you're leaving with the armor still damaged, like still noticeably, but they don't
Prov
come
just
up.
stares them down until they stop staring at
Like
him.
it's as you're opening the door to leave, and you're like, and then go through. And it would actually be when you are sort of leaving, you can even catch up with each other if you were interested in, but it doesn't really matter. You can get back to the ship easy enough with both tasks completed. Of course, Rain, you do need to give me a sneak check because you're carrying around a sword. It can be Dex or Wisdom or Charisma.
Definitely Dex. Here's why I roll a double 1.
Nope, that's great. So yeah, you do move carefully around the station, avoiding the most populated areas, and make your way back to the ship. When you get back on the ship, you can just sort of put the sword down. You also would have taken the key cards and the data pads and put that all down on a table nearby. I mean, quite near the airlocks of this new ship is where the armory is, which is has like a nice desk that you can like put things on and display it. And Prov is not far behind. No real trouble getting in and out at this difficulty.
Well, that was a bit. I mean, that ain't really my thing, to be quite honest, but seemed to go okay.
Yeah, thanks for the save there.
Hi, you're welcome. I mean, we knew that was going to be what tripped us up, so. Well, I mean, I can talk to people at the very least.
That you did.
We should see what the boss and what the comms do think of this data on these pads and such like.
I hope he's washed my clothes. This thing is chafing my balls.
He has not. It's still in the dryer. So why doesn't Davis come down for dinner after a quick break? Boom.
It's like, God damn it, Henrique. We're on a fucking spaceship, and my clothes aren't washed yet.